Things a bit gorilla at the moment. So game to get underway. The Inform officer travelling up the hill to take on Gembrook. Nice work in the middle of the ground there by the skipper Tilly. It's flicked forward. Obviously the wind is going to play quite a factor in this game. Opening hand pass for officer goes the way of Allen, who feeds it out wide. Tracking after the ball there is King. Squeezing the kick forward as it holds up on the breeze and well marked down there. Williams will squeeze the kick inboard. Find Nahas, who chips into the middle of the ground to Tilly. Tilly moving it on quickly, driving towards centre half forward. Nice little knock on there by Jenner. Played really well in that win up the mountain a few weeks back. Squeezing kick there from Williams. Tracking back, judging it well in flight. Taking a good mark there is Werner. Played a nice game last week, as we said, in defeat. And this will get a bit of an indication as to what set shots are doing with this breeze. It's just favouring one end. It's quite swirly. So for the first score of the game, and scoring is going to be of a premium, there's no question about that. Lining it up. And sliding it through. Terrific start. As Gembrook get themselves away with the first goal. Been playing only about a minute. We don't have the operational scoreboard, so we'll bring you as much of that as we can. 1 straight 6 to no score. About a minute in. 2:22. The old Richie Benno was the start time today. So you can work your clock upwards from there. So back in the middle, Gembrook on the board first. Squeezed out of there, taken by Ward. Coming off 3 goals, as we said last week. Shed into the middle of the ground here by Gembrook as they force it up into the corridor. Just squeezing a kick away that was partially smothered. Ward burrows back in after it again. It comes out to Nahas, just left it behind. Got it on the second attempt. Sets the kick up towards Farito. There's a couple of them playing in this game. Big Spud in the goal square and Aaron, the vice-captain, playing across half forward. Little goes wider, finds a teammate there in Honey. Honey works it into the middle of the ground. Not a perfect kick. Hutton has to swarm after it. Williams throws it onto his left boot. Good mark. Gaines there standing in the front position. Does a nice job. Turns it over. Williams in the way once again. Sets it up high. Farito at the back. Tried to use the body, gave a tiny bit of a nudge. And nothing doing over for a throw-in. But looks like he's going to prove a presence throughout the course of this. So boundary throw-in. Just waiting for the footy to be retrieved from down there. Might be under a car. Honey is the player doing the task. Interesting, the jumper that Michael Farito finds himself playing against. Probably his 2 great loves, the 2 jumpers that are on the ground at the moment. Taken out of there by Cockatoo, dribbles the kick forward. Finds a target there in Allen, who's had a bit of the ball early. Places the kick wide. All about looking after the footy here if you are officer. Advance down the ground. No one standing the mark, so can continue on, but turns the ball over. Farito wins it back. Curling kick down towards Michael Farito. Uses the body again from behind. Tries to work his way in front. Good harassing, taken there by De Jong. Hand pass lands at the toes of a teammate under a little bit of pressure there. DeSantis turns into traffic. Good tackle there from McLean. And it's all tied up. Paddled towards the boundary. And over for a throw-in. In that right forward pocket, Gembrook certainly with the assistance of the breeze, but not easy to navigate. So by half-time, we'll obviously know what it's worth when both sides have had a crack at it. Bourne in front position there. Looked like he was nudged under the footy in the ruck. They try to scramble their way through. Hutton puts on the tackle. And the ball will be bounced. Squeezing a little kick forward. Ferrito lays the tackle. Tilly trying to burrow out of traffic there. Umpire giving him plenty of time. Often when they do that, it means that they feel that there was an opportunity to dispose of it, but nothing doing. So we've been going about 6 minutes in this quarter. Quick give out, hurried snap, will bounce towards goal, and it's shepherded through. Volta kept it low and got a block in the goal square, which helped it on its way. Good presence of mind down there in the square from, I reckon that might have been Jenner helping that one through. And Volta gets the goal. 2 straight 12. Gembrook, officer yet to register. Hawthorn 6-4-40, Port Adelaide 4-3-27 as we head around the grounds there. Great to have the support here of Hillsville Greyhounds. All that on the Petters suspension and brakes scoreboard forward. It goes towards Aaron Ferrito. West at the back. Trying to force it along. It stays in play under a bit of pressure down there is Little. Kick partially smothered, stays in play. Michael Ferrito sells a bit of candy. Centering kick towards the top of the square mark. Almost pulled down there by Schultz. Away than the other. Feeds it back again. It comes towards Werner, who's kicked a goal already in the game. And smothered over for a throw-in right where the 50 meets the boundary. Tilly. Clever little kick. Nahas breaks one tackle, then good vision inboard. They're under the pump there a little bit. Williams breaks the tackle, should be able to kick the goal and misses. Shook off the tackle. He's had a pretty lively start to the game. He's probably had half a dozen possessions in the first 8 or so minutes. And that would have really topped it up. 2-1-13 to no score. Brought back into play. Half-back flank. Trailing by 13 points, but kicking against the breeze. She was doing plenty. Up to the wing, flashing across there was Walcott. So boundary throw in right on the wing position. Worked up the line, Ward. So half forward flank here for Officer Snooks. Just got rid of it according to the umpire. Fit through there by Tilly back towards Alcott. Couple of possessions for him down there. Drives it long down towards half forward. Shelton, the target there. Fed in borders. Officer control it into the middle of the ground. Collinson has it. Centre half back. Goes and finds De Jong. Wide by hand to Little. Little down the line. Good kick. Maloney. Kicked 3 goals. Or kicked a couple of goals last week. 2 in that defeat. It gets over the back. This is their best chance to score if it sort of scuffs along the carpet. And it's going to be a stoppage just inside the field of play. The goals are going to have to be a scramble at that end of the ground. And it's worked into the square and something out of nothing. They force it through. Opportunistic goal in the square. It's all a case of winning the clearance and giving themselves a chance. They go off the ground and they get a precious goal to the left of your stream. Where are we going to... Well, how many of those are we going to see kicked today? This time will tell. And the goal kicker making his way off the ground there, Ward. As we said, 3 goals in each of their last couple. And he puts himself on the scoreboard with their first here. Umpire will come in and bounce again in the middle. So goals to Volter and Werner for Gembrook, to Ward for Officer. Stepping through there was Alcott. Hand pass conceded a bit of territory. They're on the scene to tackle and bring it to ground. Gembrook by 7 points. We're going to see these wind-affected scorelines across the competition. You're going to see some big margins at quarter time hauled in during the second. Good vision and a lovely kick into the middle of the ground. It's Tilly. Tilly's kick gets caught by the breeze towards Basaka. Basaka did pretty well, though, to get over there and compete against Collinson. Pressure was good. It comes back here towards Valentine. Kick to half forward. Had a little bit too much on it for Alcott, who was pushing back. Underground hand pass there wasn't super effective from Shepherd. They go into the pocket. Hand pass cleverly knocked down there as Seedsman tried to centre it. Nahas's kick is good. Finds his captain in Tilly. Tilly will work it out towards Williams, who's brought his own footy through the opening stanza of this game. Goes towards Ferrito, who goes up and takes the mark. Looks for a target, pokes the kick low. Werner couldn't quite take the mark, sliding in on his knees. Picked up by West. West towards Westra. Back to West. Kicks it out in the mark's direction. And helped over the boundary line there for a throw-in. Travelling 13 minutes or thereabouts in the first term. Henza was there. It's worked towards attacking 50. Little tries to break the tackle and didn't succeed. And the free kick might go to Trot as it go back behind initially to Aaron Ferrito, vice captain. And again, this will be a bit of a test for the carry on the breeze. He's standing just outside 50, man on the mark, probably 40 from home. Little, who's been giving them a bit of drive, just bit off a little bit too much there. So Aaron Ferrito looking to answer that goal at the other end. Sets it up, draws it back on the win. Nice kick. Well executed in the conditions. They get a third, 3-1-19 to 1 straight 6. $13-point game, 14 minutes into the opening term. Gembrook, they've had the 3 wins from 13 matches, but have probably been within a couple of goals in another half a dozen. So 9 of their 13 matches, they've been conceivably a chance to win in the last quarter. A couple of blowouts like last week. And Officer similar, we saw them against Upway Tacoma in a seesawing game at home go down, and then they came out and won their next 2 against good opposition, particularly that Warrialic result as well, as they get the clearance here via Honey, who receives the hand pass, places a kick out towards Collinson, who showed some really good speed. Ward brings it in. Nice kick to Gaines, who pushes a fair way up the ground. Seen him do some work at halfback. Sets it up to about 30 and the mark is taken. But set shots will not be easy to that end of the ground, even for a player in the form that Seedsman is in. 9 goals in the last 2 weeks. We'll get his season tally in a moment. How much carry? He's kicked 29 for the season in his 13 games, so averaging 2 and a bit per game. Ranks 5th in the competition. That won't be a 30th. Well, that's almost a free kick, it is. Took the body, the mark wasn't taken, the ball spilt free. The defender committing to the play. So a decent chance Aaron Mullett kicks goal number 100 today. 98 for the season, only needs 2. As we say, it's not going to be the easiest venue or the easiest day to kick them, but he's averaging about 9 a game, as that's hooked savagely by the breeze, but after it had crossed the line. So it is a goal. Valentine gets the answer, and it's back to 7 points. You saw the big left to right hook on that. So 17 minutes into the quarter, 19 plays 12. Ferrito, Volta and Werner the goals for Gembrook. Ward and Valentine for Officer. Half-time at Launceston. Hawthorn 6-4-40 and Port Adelaide 4-3-27 in that game. Back in the middle, trying to squeeze the clearance out of there was Ashley Allen. Worked forward, trapped about 45 from goal. Dangerous tackle, is it? No, holding the ball. Generally, those dumping motions are frowned upon, but 2 umpires had a look at it and thought it was okay. Snooks. Wide goes the kick, very wide, and I think it landed on the chalk. So Gembrook asking the question as to whether it was out on the full, but it was not. Clearance comes away there of Allen for Officer. Worked up towards the wing where the scoreboard would normally be operational. Nathan Allen works it forward, but out on the full. Breeze doing its thing with that. Worked up the line, touched off hands and a throw in. So about to reach the time on stage in this quarter. Are going to be quite a few stoppages though. Nice bit of work scooting down the far side wing there from Mybus down towards half forward. A little bit of a trip, free kick to Gembrook. The little tie around there from Schultz. High ball forward, well cut off there by Little, who pushed back, showed some good courage, kept his eyes on the footy. Mark taken there by Seedsman. Sweeps the hand pass. It then goes forward towards Rees. Couldn't take the mark. Left foot floating kick towards a dangerous position. Good spoiling. Front and centre though Ward. Dinky little left foot kick. Just set it up. Didn't go far enough. "20 minutes opening term. Round 14 action. Gembrook at home to Officer, leading the game by 7 points. We're roughing it a little bit primitive at the moment. No power, which is influencing the siren and the scoreboard and the like. So we'll try to give you as much of this information as we can. Naha sweeping in the square. Precise little dinky kick, as is his want. Fater has it. Wide to the pocket. Goes over the head there of Volta. One back here by Snooks. Allen. Spotted a player out of the corner of his eye, which is the other of the Allens in Nathan. Goes long towards Seedsman at the top of the square. Eventually gets it on the bounce. Shark there by Quatch. Close to the boundary line. It'll take some effort from out there. They lose control of the footy and it goes over for a throw-in. Williams paddles it along in front of himself, takes possession now. The hand pass comes out. Now the floating kick in the Ferrito direction. Couldn't quite take the mark. Kept his feet though. Well done by West. A very clever little knock on. Ferrito comes in. They gave away a high tackle. It was probably 2 high tackles in fairness. First one and the second one, we got into the back. King. That left to right hook on the kick again. Getting a valuable hand on it there was Taylor. Out to the wing where it becomes a foot race. The ball runs on and on out towards the side. Little socketed off the ground and saw it straight out of play, and the umpire adjudicates it as such. 23 minutes have elapsed in this term. Werner takes the mark, kicked the opening goal of the game. He's got it 60 from home. Tries to drill it in towards the square. They've got a couple of players waiting back and heading straight for the line. Was Maloney to concede. 3-2-20 plays 2 straight 12. High and wide towards the half-back flank. Mark not quite hauled in. Werner putting some pressure on. Little steps through one tackle, just gets the ball moving forward. Hutton ran onto it. It's fed forward towards Quatch. Mark here between wing and half forward. Lovely delivery, and Ward takes the mark. You would sense too far out to score. And that kick just holds up and hooks left to right. Actually had no problems with the distance. It landed about 5 metres over the fence, but went out of bounds on the full. So you almost have to aim shots at that end at the left behind post to hook it in, because that was probably aimed straight through the middle and just hooked so savagely it went out of bounds on the full. They're close to the boundary. Little underground ball knocked away and over for a throw in at the 25-minute mark of the term. Taking a step through there is DeSantis. Gave it off to Snooks, who's had a few touches. Williams full-chested comes out. Having a great first quarter. Wobbles the kick forward. West did very well to trap it on the half volley. Just got the hand pass away. Little, close to their best player in the first quarter. That wasn't a great hand pass. Opens the door for them to go forward to Nahash. Should be able to play on. Steady. He's got pressure coming from behind. Goes to Ferrito. And Ferrito, I reckon's dropped it onto his boot and kicked the goal. He has. It's a bit of experience combining there. Nahas probably didn't anticipate the pressure was coming as close as it did. Went to Ferrito, who couldn't quite take the mark, but on its way down, he just helped it through. Gets his first and their fourth. 4-2-26 to 2 straight 12 at the 26-minute mark of the opening term. Siren not too far away. 14-point lead to the home side, who are, I want to say, kicking with the assistance of the breeze. There was no issue with distance at the other end, so perhaps it is blowing more across the ground. Can they add another before what a time Alcott gave the hand pass out? Volta sends them forward. Clever little knock on there from Martini. The hurried flying shot at goal goes away to the left-hand side. 4-3-27 plays 2 straight 12. Latter stages of this, the first term. Very late in actual fact. It's quarter time. 4-3-27 to Gembrook. A positive start for them. Officer 2 straight 12 goals in that first term to Michael Ferrito, Aaron Ferrito, Volta and Werner for Gembrook. And for Officer Ward and Valentine with their goals. About to start the third quarter in Tassie with Hawthorn leading Port Adelaide by 13 points. And we'll give you around the ground scores at quarter time or thereabouts from the other venues across both divisions, Premier and Division 1. A big thank you to all of our game day sponsors as well for bringing you the action today. They are Healesville Greyhounds, Pettis Suspension and Brakes, Rochford Winery, of course. You can just imagine the venue there with a fireplace and a couple of glasses. Project Gap, MS Security, SSA Sports and Bendigo Banks. And we'd also welcoming Ready Recovery as well. Play hard, recover harder. Use the code LOCALFootyHub15 at the checkout to receive 15% off. A break at quarter time. Plenty more to come from a chilly Gembrook. So you can see in the distance that there is lights on the scoreboard. So we have power at Gembrook. Some local trees going down. It caused a bit of an influence, or had a bit of an influence on the power through this area and a couple of the surrounding towns, Cockatoo and the like. But well done to our AusNet crews for getting that back up and running for us. The second quarter is underway and Hutton is having the opening shot inside the first few minutes, and that's a very good use of the breeze. Slides it through and they immediately score inside about 30 seconds of the second quarter. 3 straight 18 plays 4-3-27. And they cut the margin back to 9 points. We will give you some around the ground scores at our next moment from the other venues. As I said, you would expect that the wind would be a fairly prominent factor in what those scores might look like from both divisions. And we'll keep an eye on things in Tassie as well. But well done to the crew here at Gembrook too for operating under the duress of the power situation. Officer go forward again, made a nice start to the second term. One back here though by Henson. Fed forward. And now the long searching kick, sort of trying to track back there was Werner. Did pretty well to bring it to ground and create that contest. It comes out here towards Basaka. Did some nice competing at various stages through that term. Worked back towards the top of the square. And the intercept gives an opportunity, albeit a very tough opportunity here to trot. We'll go back with some degree of confidence. So this might indicate that left to right nature of the breeze. Going to have to start it well out near the left behind post. And even still, look at the savage hook on that. It's marked just inside the field of play, but he pretty much did aim that maybe just outside the left-hand post, and it just went and went and went. Quickly up the ground, Officer with a couple of bounces. Centering kick is cut off there by Schultz. Up towards the wing. Worked around here by Officer in the middle of the ground. Towards the top of the square, use of the body there from McLean, but front position too strong. So work it out towards the line. Neat kick finds Collinson, who coughs it up. It's going to come back in by Basaka towards the top of the square, and they've got the mark. And they should be able to go back and convert from here. About 10 metres out. Gives a little bit of a thumbs up. His teammates further up the ground there. There's Bourne, who's done a bit of work in the ruck. They can point blank range convert for their first goal of the quarter as well. So one each. So far scoring against the wind hasn't been enormously problematic. We'll look at the scores from the other games in this round. Fondon 4-1-25, Alinda Ferny Creek 4 straight, Upway Tacoma 5-2-32, Warri Alec 3-2-20. We don't have scores in the Mount Evelyn Emerald Clash or Monbog and Healesville. So centre half forward for Officer, and it's been advanced down to the top of the square. Not a 50-metre penalty, but a relayed free kick to Seedsman. In the Div 1 games, Alexandra 3-4-22, Yarra Glen a goal. Seville 7-4-46 over Yarra Junction 1-2-8. Warburton 9-10-64 over Powtown 2 behinds. Belgrave 5-4-34 over Yea 2 straight 12 as Seedsman kicks the goal here. They're fourth. And the margin is trimmed back to 9 points, 4 straight to 24 to 5-3-33. So 9-point game, travelling about 9 minutes in this term. Spun in the tackle, dispossessed. Nahas hits the ground running, flashes through, wobbles a long kick towards Ferrito, diving at full stretch, couldn't quite haul in the mark. It's worked out towards Westra. It's one back though. Ferrito feeds the hand pass towards Alcott, who set it up, and a cruncher there on Martini down there in the pocket. Bourne comes out after it. Good tackling. Towards the hot spot at about 35, and good strength, good mark taken down there by Jenna. It's a useful contributor. We saw them win here a month or so back. Sets that one up. Not a bad kick from that pocket. That's a beauty. Working it nicely from left to right, holding it up with that breeze, and it's 2 goals apiece in the term. The margin as it was at quarter time, 6-3-39 to 4 straight 24, 15-point game. So really good contest unfolding here. Back in the middle, Bourne having his turn there. Tilly shovels the hand pass, but it's cut off by Nathan Allen. Works it on the bounce, really clever knock on. DeSantis flashes through, left foot kick into the corridor. Coming out after it there was Maloney. It's picked up and skipped towards goal and through by Ashley Allen. So an immediate answer. 5 straight 30 plays 6-3-39. Pretty fast, high-scoring game in these conditions. Working through the middle, Tilly straightens it up to half forward. Use of the body good there from Westra. Out towards DeSantis, takes the mark. Kick partially smothered. It was nice play there from Volta, a goal kicker in the first term. Puts the body in the way. Quickly forward go Officer again, looking to draw even closer. Hand pass there from Busaka, not without some risk. Maloney, hand pass back towards Marks. Marks quickly towards Rees. Rees skips through, straightens up, pulls the kick, misses. First blemish on the board for Officer. 5-1-31, plays 6-3-39. Worked up towards the back line, and the umpire says throw it in. We have seen one insufficient intent free kick paid in this game so far. We don't see another one there. Allen skips away, thumps it long towards goal. Plenty of carry on that kick. But that one stayed right the whole way, but certainly opening things up and looking dangerous in this quarter, Officer. Short ball to the pocket, Nahas skipping past, looking for an option. Didn't have one he necessarily liked, so went to Volta, back to Nahas. Another possession for him, cleverly done. Squeezing kick there from Michael Bourne. Worked over for a throw-in. At the fall, left foot floating kick, cut through, kept alive along the boundary, but only for a moment, and over it goes. 7-point game, 6-3-39, plays 5-2-32, 3 goals, 2-2 straight this quarter in favour of Officer, who are pressing. Umpire unable to sort them through there, and it'll be tossed in once more. And the umpire pays, holding the ball there as they tried to create something by swarming through, but very difficult, that nest of players to work through. It's advanced up the ground here. Alcott, the recipient of that. Over the boundary line in front of the electronic scoreboard. Don't have the clock working on that one, but about 17 minutes has elapsed in this term. Cutting straight through there is Ferrito. That's Aaron Ferrito. Sets the high left foot kick up. Just probably gave it a little bit too much air, which brought that left to right into the equation. And the margin extends to 8 points. 6-4-40. Plays 5-2-32. 8-point game. Down in Tassie, Hawthorn 7-5-47, Port 6-5-41 as the Galahs scatter on the half-back flank here. Good kick towards West, who just ran underneath it as the breeze caught it for a moment, and it's over for a throw-in, basically on the wing position between the respective interchange gates. No one able to escape there as Shelton puts a nice tackle on just to tie up Quatch, who was trying to get it moving Officer's way. So still on the wing position. Shelton goes up there against Gaines. Jake Gaines in the ruck was quite athletic. Flying kick forward is hacked out of mid-air somewhat cleverly there from Little out towards the half-back flank. Mybus tracking after it. Got a bit of assistance. They'll go down the line, but not effectively. Ball turned over. It's here with Gembrook in the middle of the ground. Ferrito will receive the pass. He's got Williams here, coming off a huge first quarter, been a little bit quieter in the second. Pulls that left foot kick to half forward. It's punched away, won't go out. It's an important ball to be won till he lost his footing, but did really well. Williams followed up, and then a very good hand pass back. Quick kick there from Werner, goes high in the air. Probably not the required. He played on anyway. The umpire did blow the whistle. Allen takes the mark, gets a runner coming past, gives it to him. Valentine down towards the goal square, and Nahas happy to escort it as it goes through for a behind. 5-3-33 plays 6-4-40. Good give, finds its way towards Michael Bourne down the line. 3-on-2 there in favour of Gembrook, and they controlled at the fall, doing that really well. It was Christopher Bourne to step through. Important ball in the air to be won. Little did well against the bigger opponent to hold front position, and then what a free kick for over the shoulder. The chip into the middle is taken very low to the ground. So you got Christopher Bourne there. If it gets over the back, they are a chance. Bourne doing pretty well, the big man, showing some good agility. Good tackle. Williams crashes through. And pass comes back towards Bourne, held up, and about 20 minutes into the second term. We'll have a bounce. At the fall again, about 35-40 around from Officer's goal. So right on 50, can they get the carry, the kick from here? We have seen balls travelling at both ends of the grounds. Goes to Siegeman, and Siegeman marks. We haven't had a multiple goal kicker in the game so far. He can line up for his second and his 31st on the year. Curious as to Aaron Mullet's progress. Sitting on 98. One of the other games coming into this round. Decent chance with his side already having a few on the board that he might have turned up in that. Seedsman to draw them to within a point. They were 15 down at quarter time. 45 metres out, no easy kicks out there, and he pulls that one to the left. Margin 1 goal. 5-4-34 plays 6-4-40 at this stage. Kicks out, almost intercepted there by Quatch. Got an important hand on it, fed through there by DeSantis. Free kick will again go the way here of Officer, as the defence feeling the pinch a little bit here from Gembrook. They've been under siege over the last 10 or so minutes. Tilly going back to help his side in there. Hand pass towards the voice of Nahas, who was on the boundary. Curling kick doesn't clear Little, who pushed up the line. And it goes out of bounds on the full in the end. Little goes to Allen. Allen's got options in the middle of the ground. Marks was one of those. He goes a little bit longer towards Ward, who kicked their opening goal. Gave it to a runner going past who flashes towards goal and misses to the left-hand side there. Snooks 5-5-35, plays 6-4-40. So Nahas will play onto himself. Long kick. Ferrito goes through his hands. He recovered fairly quickly and was able to stop it from escaping. Umpire letting them sort it out. Inside 50 again, go Officer Bourne has done a couple of nice things. It comes out here towards Henson, then Volta, then Busaka, who goes over the top. Trapped eventually by Alcott, who loses his footing. Gembrook doing pretty well. Busaka did nicely to go in there and lend a hand and not give the free kick away. That's a throw. Crowd saw it and it'll be advanced down the ground as well. Right in front of the Gembrook box, not the best place to get away with that. So Busaka, fitting reward given his tenacity around that contest to win possession there. Went looking for Ferrito. They try to step through. They've got a bit of space here. If they can execute, just sold a teammate under pressure there. He was probably needed to be the kicker, McLean. He went with one too many hand passes, and probably he was the one who had to pull the trigger on the shot. Unselfish, but in the end, he was the man. Top of the square. Really good tackle put on there. Well, at least it appeared that way on Shelton. Umpire deems that it was high. They'll poke it into the pocket where Westra is there. Ferrito did well to just get a hand in the way, not give the free kick. Alcott pulls the kick short. Marks does just that. Goes down towards centre half forward, and Williams getting rid of his opponent a little bit too early. And as a result, the free kick will come back here to Maloney. They're pushing for the lead here. It's only a 5-point game, so they can poke their noses in front. Maloney backing himself to get the trip, sets it up into the square, and Seedsman an unrealistic attempt on the mark. As seen as such by the umpire, you have to get somewhere near the ball. Hawthorn 8, 6.54, Port 6, 6.42. Late in the third quarter down in Launceston. Nahas receives the hand pass. Runs around, takes a bounce, goes up the middle, clever. Such a creative player. Probably going to get it back again. Too evasive for most. Good kick again. And the mark taken here by Bourne. Bourne goes a little left foot kick. Not a bad result here. The bounce was always going to be problematic. Usaka gets it through towards Trott. Trott gets through one. Bit of an open goal ahead. Floats it long towards home. And that breeze takes it savagely left to right. And another behind. 6.5.41 to 5.5.35. Been travelling about 27 minutes or thereabouts. In this second term, we've had 3 goals, 5 to Officer, 2 goals, 2 to Gembrook. Alcott, they get Bourne. Picked up there by Jake Gaines. Important ball to be won here at centre half back. Might only be 1 or 2 more scoring chances in the half. And there will be none. As the siren sounds to end an entertaining second quarter and an entertaining first half. 4 goals to 2 Gembrook's way in the first quarter, 3 goals to 2 Officers' way in the second. Leaves us a goal the difference. The home side 6-5-41, Officer 5-5-35. Goals to Gembrook to Michael Ferrito, Aaron Ferrito, Volta, Bourne, Werner, Jenner, and for Officer Seedsman, Ward, Hutton, Allen and Valentine, their goal scorers on the Petters Suspension and Break scoreboard. With thanks to Hillsville Greyhounds, Rochford Wineries and all of our major game day sponsors. Pretty tight contest as expected, and we'll be back with the second half very soon. And some 16 to the other. Taken straight out of the ruck, nothing doing, and we'll have the secondary bounce. It is Officer who go forward straight away, just not quite getting boots of ball. Looked like Nahas on the charge, almost needed, a bit like Aaron Norton having that shot at goal in the square last night where it doesn't constitute the effective disposal. And going back, Seedsman to have an early opportunity in the second half to potentially draw them level. Again, that big left to right hook on the ball, sending it well out and out of bounds on the full. It is almost impossible, if the ball is given any height at all, to control it to that end of the ground. It's really a case of punching those low shots at goal and hoping that obviously you can keep any wind interference out of it. So umpire has some sorting things out there, but unable to clear the vicinity. Taken out of there by Gembrook, but the kick was smothered. Hotly contested. Burrow through there is Alcott. Running straight into a tackle down there was Saka. Williams it is as well. Worked up towards Ferrito. Clever little knock on if the ball will sit. They didn't get a particularly kind bounce in there for Bourne. Backwards by hand. Well done in there again from Alcott. Working through under a bit of pressure there is Maloney. Screams of holding the ball from the crowd. Ward went wider with the hand pass. Kick's not too bad to half forward, but good strength there from Nahas. The body in the way goes to Trott, who gave them some good drive through the second quarter. Werner in the front position, nudged under it. No, says the umpire. Those around the ground scores at our next stoppage. Alcott ensures that moment is now. Yarra Glen and Alexandra in Div 1. Alexandra 8-6-54. Yarra Glen 2-1-13. Yarra Glen lost form, that's for sure. Seville 11-11-77. Yarra Junction 1-2-8. Warburton 17-12-114 at half time against Powelltown, 6 behinds. And Belgrave 8-6-54. They're in good form against Yea 6-3-39. We'll look at the Premier Division. Wandon 5-4-34. Olinda Ferny Creek 4-2-26. Upway Tacoma 8-4-52. Warri Ellick 7-3-45. We don't have scores available from the other two games, Mount Evelyn and Emerald and Monbulk and Hillsville just at the moment. And in Tasmania, Hawthorn 9-7-61. And tricky conditions are probably going to be Port 6-6-42 down there. Boundary throw in again. So first goal of this second half is going to be crucial. Flicked on there by Volta. Kept alive by Allen, although he spilt the ball behind him, which did bring Gembrook back into the equation and tied up there for a bounce. Just outside 50. Close to the boundary and over. Nice tap there from Gaines. Scooting past to Santos, who's played a very solid game. Goes to Maloney. Drives the low kick down towards half forward. And it's worked over for a throw in. Gaines pushing up to that ruck contest as well. Flying past there was Allen, who kicked a goal in the first half. So this third term been travelling 6 minutes. We're yet to have a score, just the one shot at goal, which went out in the full from Siegeman to start the term. Conditions difficult. Through the middle of the ground, kick lands right on the cricket pitch area. Good strength there from Tilly. Slipped over as he kicked, but it can still work out okay. Werner had a runner coming past. Open goal square. Goes a little beyond that, and it's just missed. Hit the bottom of the post.
Pass the bloody thing!
And 6-6-42 to 5-5-35. 7-point game. Tight contest. Tight start to the second half. Good strength there from Schultz. Looks for a short option, and the kick drops short of that. Allen takes the mark, gets it off here towards Hutton. Hutton's kick towards the half-forward line, trapped there by Collinson. Left foot kick to a dangerous position. If it sits there, a chance. It just runs on. Williams V-lines the ball, did it nicely. Went looking there for Basaka. Find him. They've worked it up towards the wing. That's good ball movement, Bourne. Wobbles it forward, and wobbles is the word as Gaines intercepts. Kick floats wide. Mark taken underneath the scoreboard. 8 minutes in this third term. 7 points the margin. Hutton. Down to centre half forward. Well fed back there by Little. Goes towards Allen. Took on one tackle. Didn't win that battle. Tilly. Got options in the middle. Is going to take a good kick. It is a good kick. Like blast through the hands there of Taylor. Forward they go again. King. Just to straighten up. And past to Volta, who's under pressure. Best to just not get rid of the football there. And the umpire says that there was no prior. Volta gets the clearance, tumbles it forward off the knee there of Little, who's been a really good worker all day. Ball to be thrown in. 9 and a bit minutes have elapsed in this term without a score, without a goal. Only the one behind. Tilly did that well. Great kick too. Heinz Werner. Might have been a relayed free kick if it didn't hit the target, but he's controlled it, kept it low, placed it very well out into the path of Werner, who kicked the opening goal of the game from a very similar position to this. He was involved in that chain that saw them have that shot at goal that missed only narrowly a couple of minutes ago. Such an important kick. It's been a real arm wrestle to start the second half. Gembrook been involved in a lot of close games just to give them some space midway through the third term. 45 metres out, great kick. And he becomes the first player on the ground to kick multiple goals. And the margin out to 13 points, just short of the game high 15. Petter's suspension and break scoreboard. Make sure you check out Aiden and Steph on the Outer East Football Netball League Footy Show on the league's Facebook page. That airs every Friday at 5 p.m. So jump on board and check that out. So the deadlock broken in the second term. And importantly for Gembrook, they break a run of back-to-back goals kicked at the other end to end that second term. Where they were under siege a little bit. Felt like the siren came at a pretty good time for them. Back in the middle. Another one here. It's at the point now where Officer really do need to kick the next one. It goes back in that Werner direction. Ferrito, lovely pick up on the half volley. Gets it off to Alcott. Snaps high on the left. Has it got the carry? Right on the line. Almost perfect. Little was back there to help avert disaster there. 7-7. Plays 5-5. 14 points is the margin right now. Toss back in. Ferrito trying to take front position there. Jake Gaines did pretty well in the ruck. And we'll have another bounce. Quick snap, top of the square. Werner keeps it in front. Just lost his footing at an inopportune moment. Allen outside of the boot, squeezes the kick wide. Well trapped by Henson. Get cut off there by Honey, and Honey's turned it over as well. Shelton. Can they mark this in the pack? They're climbing high, almost dragging it in was Trot. And they're pretty happy to see that over the line. Flying shot towards goal is away to the right-hand side, but enjoying a good few minutes here. 7-8-50. Plays 5-5-35. Margin sits at 15, that equal game high. So back in at the top of the square. Worked it up and they just need to retain possession here. Momentum gone against them for a few minutes. Snooks goes up towards the wing, almost a one-hander hauled in by Allen. Kick goes forward but peeling off and getting front position and taking a good mark down there. Getting in the road. Ball Little will cut another one off. Short ball is okay. Kicks into the man on the mark. Burrowing through, goes towards Ferrito. Pulls in the mark in the middle of the ground. Called to play on, not sure he stepped off the line there. Just got boot to ball. Allen get there first. Ferrito puts some body on to influence things. Westra scooping it up. Gembrook win it back again. High ball getting in the way is Snooks, who takes a relieving mark. And Launceston, Hawthorn 12-9-81. Port 7-6-48. So from the wing, they go to attacking 50. Quick give there was lightning from Rees. And that sprayed kick goes out of bounds on the full. It's very difficult to control long kicks to that end of the ground. And Gembrook gets some further reprieve in the form of a free kick on the last line. .5 minutes. And the margin is 15 points. Seedsman almost hauls in the mark. Probably should have in the end. It was largely uncontested. Bouncing ball, just missing the target there. Coming through was Shepherd. And a free kick for a hold of the jumper. So Gembrook holding things up for the moment. Williams, long options on the wing. Wanted to draw and go by hand. Instead kicks. Asks a little bit there of a teammate in Jenner. Returns tackler and brings it to ground. Little dribbly kick. Ferrito, good attack on the football. Needs an option coming past. Well-weighted hand pass. Long ball. Werner should have taken the mark, didn't. Trying to keep the ball in front of himself. Knocked out of the way, goes into the fence too. De Jong gave a bit of body and he's still down, Werner, after hitting the fence on the far side. We'll keep an eye on that as they race down the ground here. Officer, they take the mark on 50. Valentine chips it into Allen, bounces straight through his hands. Williams, who's been so strong through the course of the game, gets in the road. The player's still down too. Werner down there at half forward. Went cannoning into the fence. Important stoppage in the forward line here for Officer, who probably need to kick the next goal in a game that's going to be fairly low scoring. Going to have a bit of a stop whilst we get that sorted out. Still in the hands of the trainers, and I have some worries as to whether he's gone head first into it. He is picking himself up now, which is certainly a much better sign. Just waiting for the umpires to get the all clear to resume. And they have that now with the stoppage inside 50. Getting a hand on it, there was Fater down towards the top of the square. Squeezing, kick towards the pocket. Did it go the required? It did. And the mark is taken. Must have been on the edge of 15 metres. So Ward to have another opportunity. In fact, he's Valentine down there in the pocket about 20 metres from goal. And misses near side. 5-6-36. Plays 7-8-50 in the third term. 14-point game. Playing onto himself, Nahas. Middle of the ground, a block. Free kick will go to Officer. Gives him a chance to reload. And they find Allen in the corridor. Tries to find a target and does. And it is Rees, who can have another shot at goal. This time has a better look at it, but no easy kicks in these conditions. About to hit the time on stage of this, the third term. On the approach, 35 metres out, starts it left as you need to do. Has it got the carry? I think it has. No, just on the line. He had the arms in the air celebrating. And as we saw at the other end with Little saving the day for Officer, been able to save the day on the last line at their end. 13 points on the margin. Trott was the target of the kick. It had a little bit too much on it. Ferrito showing some good strength. Breaks through another tackle. Excellent kick too. Curls it around to Bourne. Right in the middle of the ground. Goes looking for a target. Getting up there with hands with Schultz. Couldn't haul it down. Hand pass will just stay in the field of play, but only for a moment. And then eventually it goes over. Boundary throw in. 35 metres around from their goal. Another one here would be oh so crucial before three-quarter time. Comes out to Volta, but a throw just as they were about to load up. Probably a correct decision despite the protestations from the locals. Going up and taking an uncontested mark down there is Taylor. Long ball inside, Ferrito just worked under it a little bit. Little might have been caught high, tried to break the tackle once it was called play on. Fed back by Hutton. Dinky little kick gets to West. West into the middle of the ground. Numbers with Gembrook. Ferrito to Williams. Williams a long high kick. Plenty of carry on that at the back. Great mark by the captain. Tilly eyes on it the whole way. That's a courageous mark He had Schultz for company, who's a big frame, pushing hard back at him the other way. And a very important kick for goal here for the skipper, almost directly in front. That's imposing yourself when the moment needs to be taken. And can he close the deal? From right in front, pops it through for a big goal. And they move to 8-8-56 with that, to 5-7-37, 19 points is the advantage. Biggest lead of the game. I haven't actually relinquished the lead at any stage this afternoon. Still work to be done if they are going to get the 4 points here. They've been in this position a few times before. Verito crashing through again. Another high kick. Tilly will impose himself on this one again at the back. Mark Page. Worked up towards the defensive, or to the back edge of the square now with a 15-metre penalty. Turned over on the wing. The open forward line ahead if the ball sits, which it doesn't. They had Fater tracking towards it. Just ran out of room. Acrobatic effort to kick that, dumped as he disposed of it, and the umpires come here and paid that free kick. Bourne will get the opportunity down there. Another big kick from 45 metres out. It's a wobbly ball. It's going to land just short. It snuck over for a behind. So the margin sits at 20 now. 8-9-57 to 5-7-37. 2-4 to 2 behinds in this quarter. As they launch back towards attacking 50, they keep forcing turnovers around the middle of the ground, and now they'll have the final act of the quarter. It's already a healthy lead of 20 points. Another one here. Doesn't make it unassailable, but it's getting up towards that mark. 8-9 to 5-7, 20-point game. Delivers from on 50, looking for a second goal. Will it be shepherded on the line? I think it almost hit both posts. It was touched just in front of one and then rolled into the other, unimpeded. So a continuation of that play means the behind will stand. 8-10-58 to 5-7-37 at three-quarter time. A 21-point lead to the home side. Goals to Werner, who has 2, and then collided pretty hard with the fence. Hopefully all is okay there. Certainly looked like he was up and moving again. Singles to both Veritos, Volta, Bourne, Tilly and Jenner. And for Officer, all singles, Seedsman, Ward, Hutton, Allen and Valentine, just as it was at half-time. 8-10-58 to 5-7-37. Big thank you to our game day sponsors, Healesville Greyhounds, Pettis Suspension and Brakes, Rochford Winery, Project Gap, MS Security, SSA Sports and Bendigo Bank. And if you've got a special milestone or just want a game filmed for just $300 plus GST, you can get your match filmed. Contact Gameface Vision for more information. Div 1 matches. Alexandra 9.963 headed for victory against Yarra Glen 3.220. Seville 19.14 128 over Yarra Junction 1.28. Warburton 23.17 155 over Powertown 2.618. And Belgrave clinging to a 6-point lead 9.963 against Yea 9.357 as Officer tried to win it out of the middle. Incorrect disposal. Henson gets the free kick. Sends the ball long and wide. Stepping through the middle for Rito. He's had a very good game and he finds a target in the form of Fater about 45 metres out directly in front. Bearing in mind that Officer have kicked just 2 behind since half-time. If he kicks this goal, they will need to kick 5 goals in the last term to get the result. Comes in, kicks from 48 metres, spears it low. That one did go left and didn't come back. West at the fall, quickly onto the boot, barrels it out towards the boundary line. No one really anywhere near that, and the umpire accordingly says insufficient intent. Not a rule you often see paid at this level. That's very much an AFL free kick, but probably not incorrect either for Rito. Been an excellent game from him. Goes towards the top of the square. Snooks gave the hand pass out. Good spearing kick, bouncing through hands for Rito with strength again. Breaks another tackle. Goes low. Just the required distance. Finds Trot. Now, if you think about the ball going left to right, that makes this kick almost impossible. Probably make a liar of me with this one, but and if he's a left footer, that's even worse. He goes with the right and misses near side. It hooked around the post. Quite a significant swing on that. 2 behinds to Trot. 8-11 plays 5-7 in the last term here. 22-point margin. Getting tricky for Officer. 4 minutes in the last quarter so far. Good kick. Finds Ward. Ward got himself into a little bit of trouble. Williams quickly onto the left, curls it back around. Trapped there by Jenner. Close to the line, over for a throw-in. Around down there, Ferrito again putting his body everywhere. Of course, Gembrook won the earlier meeting between these two sides at Officer back in round 5 by 7 points, 8-10 to 7-9. Similar scoreline shaping up this afternoon. Both these sides looking for their 4th win of the season. In Officer's case, it would be their 3rd win in a row. But they've got some work to do to get to that point. Worked into the middle, long ball forward. Schultz couldn't take the mark. Williams stepping through there, Shepherd. So hand pass out, not in time. Holding the ball, run down, terrific chase and tackle. Set it up. They need a mark here. Ferrito back in familiar territory in defence. It's a free kick before the ball arrived, and it's going to go to the captain in Maloney, who was put down. Umpire feeling that that was illegal impeding of his run towards the ball. And just gets it there, I think he does. Game still alive. Sixth individual goal scorer for Officer. They cut the margin to 16 points. Can they summon some of that confidence and energy over the last couple of weeks? Stepping through, Volta immediately disposes of the ball under pressure out towards the boundary side. Allen will try to keep this one alive for Officer. Boundary line wins the day. Ball held to him, and another bounce. The time ticking off the clock, valuable for them. 8 minutes, so still plenty of time to go, but they haven't been super long quarters due to obviously not a lot of goals being kicked. Used to the body good there for Rito. He's been strong in the contest. Flicks the hand pass up towards Tilly, his captain. Officer scrambling towards the boundary, and they force it over. Fed in towards Allen, waits for it to bounce. It's worked into the middle of the ground. Williams has been very good. Long towards a one-on-one, no mark taken. The front and centre was a crucial one to be won. Collinson assists. And another important ball won back here for Gembrook as they set it up. Can they get a mark inside 50? They held front position. Good to see Werner back out there after that collision with the cyclone wiring on the fence through the third term. Free kick back to Tilly, who kicked such an important goal at the end of that third quarter. Goes and finds Volta. Officer winning it at the full, but just a touch of the fumbles there from Westra. Gets it out towards a teammate there in Honey, who was under pressure. Work down towards half forward. All one-on-ones if it can get over the back, but it doesn't. Great mark taken by Michael Bourne. And then an excellent mark here also to Taylor. Works it. The helicopter kick down towards the wing. The umpires paid a push just as the ball was won back, and Trott has done a lot of good things in this game. Trott had some nice pace, gets front position, reads it well. Been able to mark on the lead and challenge the defence quite a bit through the game. Goes towards Michael Ferrito, still very difficult to move. Hacked into the middle, Shepherd. Block at centre half forward. It's an Officer ball. They're trying to release some runners. They've got a bit of space to work in here in the middle Little will go long. Siegeman caught behind in a one-on-one Bourne. Great mark again. Towering up above the pack. Wide kick, didn't do any favours for Busaka. Sold some candy, straight back into traffic and gone. Maloney was looking for a shepherd from his teammate in Mybus. It didn't come. He hurt himself in that tackle too, did Christopher Bourne. It's been the Bournes controlling things in the last few minutes. He'll come to the bench a little bit worse for wear. But knowing that was an extremely important tackle in the context of the game as we tick towards 12 minutes in the quarter. Close to the line and eventually trickles over. Works forward and Schultz gets in the way. Schultz. Ferrito coming to the fore with all that experience. Osaka, been a good player. Ball hits the deck. There's a contest in the air, but no marks. About halfway through the quarter, they need to kick 3 unanswered goals to win it from here. Caught in the middle of the ground, coming through his gains. Straightens up. Seedsman caught behind at the back. Nahas always makes good decisions. Good hand pass towards Shepherd. Trying to haul in a one-hander there was Fater. Flicked up and eventually knocked over for a throw-in. All of these stoppages, good results for Gembrook at home. We're underway in the AFL in Sydney. Swans a goal. Kangaroos yet to score. Toe poked forward. Allen goes to the hand pass. Little backwards ball there from Ward. Allen again. Runs out of room. Helped over for a throw-in. I've really liked the game of Jesse Busaka this afternoon. Worked hard. Michael Ferrito putting himself behind the ball with all that experience, just crunches the body in low like a battering ram. Busaka again just tries to flick it on. Quick kick out of there from Quach. Nahas punches it over the back and through for a rush behind. 6-8-44 plays 8-11-59. 15-point margin, and we've been going 14 minutes in the final term. Nahas directing some traffic. So 15-point game. They still need to kick 3 unanswered goals. They've only got 1 since half-time. That's a free kick, you would think, if the mark wasn't paid. In fact, they may have even paid a 15-metre penalty there. They have. So umpire paying both, effectively. Schultz moves to the middle of the wing, true wing position, probably beyond halfway in this quarter. One thing is for sure, 1 goal to Gembrook would end the resistance. Going for distance, Siegeman hits the pack hard. Picks it up at the full, they keep it alive. Rees on the outside of the boots. Or the target of that kick, rather, on the outside of the boot. Maloney goes to Rees. Rees towards an open goal. It'll bounce, run, and through. Just missing that right-hand post. And a big goal. Keeps them in the game. 7-8-50 plays 8-11-59. 9 points the margin. 16 minutes last turn. One goal, 3 to Rees in this game. It's been a bit of a wayward one for him. SCG Sydney 2 goals, North Melbourne 1. So 12 playing 6 in that game. game. We'll keep an update of the Outer Eastern matches as the scores develop. There are a couple of close ones and a couple of absolute blowouts. Premier Div Wandon hold a 10-point lead over Alinda Ferny Creek. 7-10 to 6-6. Mybus has his hand pass cut off by Tilly. Important ball to be won. Ferrito went towards Basaka. It comes to Volta. Volta bouncing down towards the wing. And the umpire pays insufficient intent. It's been the rule of the day, that's for sure. Warrialic running all over Upway Tacoma. They were about 2 goals down at half-time. They lead by 45 points in the last quarter there and kicking really accurately, working down towards half-forward. Ferrito knocks it over for a throw-in. So 2 goals, 1 to 1 behind in this quarter, so not pointing to it being a super long term. 17 minutes have elapsed. It's a 2-kick game. Say Gembrook have been in this position many times before, including last time these sides met. It was 58-51 that day, 59-50 now, so very similar game. Holding free kick goes Officer's way. Half forward the target is Westra, who takes the mark. Gets it off towards Quach, who runs to 50. Open goal, long and strong, and hits the post. Just those little moments to let off there for Gembrook. Hearts would have been in their mouths for a second. Margin stays at 8. Nahas goes safely to the pocket. Schultz today start playing for time. Quick kick goes to Ferrito, advantage paid. He just waited for the call, got it, breaks the tackle, runs through the middle of the ground, takes a bounce and a second, runs to 50, open goal ahead, and through it goes. That's taking the responsibility, carrying it all through the middle, a couple of bounces, open goal ahead, kicked it low and flat to take the breeze out of the equation and ran it through for his second. And the 14-point lead is probably enough. 9-11-65 to 7-9-51. 2 goals, 2 to Aaron Ferrito. And what a good game he's played. Given them run. Been nearly impossible to tackle. That's a player understanding the game situation, reading the equation perfectly. And delivering the goods. It goes towards the pocket and it's over for a throw-in. Good attack on it there from Henson. Wobbly kick forward, taken here by Bourne. Gets the hand pass through to Trott. Trott thumps it towards goal and misses. 3 behinds for Trott today. Margin is 15 points, 20 minutes in. Middle of the ground, Officer have got to do everything right from here. That's a wobbly kick towards Quach. Fairly open forward line ahead. Finds a target. That's going to be a really tough kick from out there. Seedsman, 9 goals in the last 2 weeks in their wins, 4 and 5. Has 1 goal, 1 this afternoon. Conditions a bit harder for key forwards. Sets it up, floating across the face, off hands and over for a throw-in. Time becoming an enemy now at 21 minutes last term. Scrambling through there, Volta played a nice game. Hurried snap towards goal, and they missed to the right. Every one of those she sends has to go through. Allen, his second behind. 7-10-52, plays 9-12-66. 14-point game. Nahas. Again with the steady head and the low kick. Hasn't missed a target all afternoon and hasn't started there. Ferrito. To Ferrito. So they combine. Professional game from Michael Ferrito. Started forward, dropped behind the ball when they've needed to steady things, and goes to Bourne, who's been good. Both of them, Christopher and Michael Bourne, have played very well. Helicopter kick to the pocket. Mark spilt down there by King. Had almost done enough. Williams. Werner, as I said, back out onto the ground. Has kept that ball alive. It's a pretty crude hit on that pack. Given the free kick away there for some interference. 23 minutes into the last quarter. The quarters have gone 26, 27 and 25. So not long to go based on that. Allen finds a target. Now they've got to play it on. Werner goes looking for Seedsman. Couldn't mark it. Shepherd to Nahas. Nice kick on the outside of the boot to Henson. Bourne couldn't pull the mark in. Westra. Bourne goes out by hands. Some tired bodies now. It comes to Alcott. Tilly. Wrenches a kick forward. Alcott again. Clever little bouncing kick down the line looking for Trott. And out it goes for a throw-in. Tapped into the middle of the ground here by Allen. Breaks a tackle. Straightens up. Chips out looking for Quachu. Will trap it. Sweeps the hand pass further afield towards Collinson. Hooks the kick in. Looking for Seedsman. Tries to trap it on the half volley. Schultz did well to Ferrito. Quick snap around the body up to the wing position. Honey stands up in the tackle. Releases a teammate. They go back towards Collinson, who took possession and then was worked over the line for a throw in. 25 minutes last term. Margin sits at 14 points. Work down towards half forward. Get officer muster something from here. Bit of a fluffed kick forward. They've still got it near attacking 50. Valentine left that one behind. Into the middle it goes. Couldn't haul in the mark. Alcott caught high. It's the free kick. Play on advantage for Rito. Steps around. Wobbles the left foot kick down towards the goal square. Honey, run down, handball straight at the line. The umpire comes in with purpose and says, I'm paying that. You can tell when they just pick up their pace running towards the boundary line that they're going to be paying that free kick. They're not just going to run in there and say throw it in. So Gembrook at the 26-minute mark of the last quarter with a shot at goal from the pocket. The game's probably already in the book, and it definitely is now. (10-12-72) plays 7-10-52. That's an excellent finish. 3 goals now to Werner, who looked like he was out of the game in the middle of the third term. He's been really good. Kicked the first goal of the game, then he kicked the first goal of the second half, and he might have kicked the last goal of the game as well. 28 minutes in this last quarter. There can't be a stack of time left. It comes here towards Ward. Nahas now. With the kick out. They'll be happily running this one down and getting the job done. Win number 4 on the season for Gembrook, who climbed 1 position on the table as a result of that, from 9th up to 8th, displacing Officer in that position. They keep themselves clear, potentially, of Emerald out of the bottom of the table. And in terms of the race to avoid the drop zone, if you will, a really significant result for them. 10-12-72 to 7-10-52. 3 goals to Werner, 2 to Aaron Ferrito, 1 to Michael Ferrito, Volta, Bourne, Tilly and Jenner. And for Officer, all singles: Seedsman, Ward, Hutton, Allen, Maloney, Valentine and Rees. 20-point victory, 10-12-72 to 7-10-52. The most recent around the ground scores that we have before we wrap things up. In the clash out with Wandon, they were 10 points in front at our last update. And just awaiting those scores to drop for us. They're now 27 points up, 10-11-71 to 6-8-44. Warri Alec, 20 goals for, 124. They kicked 15 goals in the second half, leading Upwey Tacoma 13-7-85. No scores from the other 2 games in that competition to this stage, unfortunately. And in the Division 1 fixtures, close to full-time or at full-time. It's full-time in the Seville match. They've defeated Yarra Junction by 170 points, 27-16, 178 to 128. Alexandra, not quite full-time there, but they are going to win 13-9-87 to Yarra Glen 6-4-40. Not quite full-time either in the Warburton-Powelltown game. Warburton 25-21, 171, Powelltown 5-7-37. And still going in the last quarter, Belgrave, Yay. Belgrave 10-15-75. Yay 11-4-70. 5 points to the margin there. That game up for grabs. So keep an eye on the Play HQ website for that one and just see how that is all unfolding. So both sides come from the field. Officers' little resurgence just halted a little bit. They'd won back-to-back games prior to today, but certainly showing some improved form. And Gembrook competitive in basically every game that they play and getting some fitting reward for it with their 4th win of the season. 20 points to the good. Big thank you to our major sponsors: Healesville Greyhounds, Petter Suspension and Brakes, Rochford Winery, Project Gap, MS Security, SSA Sports and the Bendigo Bank, and of course Ready Recovery. Play hard, recover harder. Use the code LOCALFootyHub15, all one word, at the checkout for 15% off. Signing off from Gembrook, where it's been a chilly and windy afternoon, but a good game of football, and the home side gets the job done by 20 points.